Toyota sending us a Sequoia 4-wheel drive. Here's all the standard stuff we're getting on this particular model. I'm not going to read it off, just freeze the frame if you want to see something. And here's the price and the options. Load leveling, rear height, control air suspension. We'll have to take this off-road and see how that works. Power running boards. Okay, more weight. Dash cam, ball mount. $358 for floor mats. Come on, guys. Shouldn't that be standard in an 80 grand vehicle? Guess not. Here's the tab. Alright, we're at our broadcasting station where we transmit our videos all over the world. And here is the Toyota they sent. Let's do a walk around. 265/60 Yokohama tires mounted on 20-inch wheels. These look like they're more street tread than off-road. Says this is the Platinum model. Don't recall seeing that on the window sticker we looked at, but alright. But now we know. Rear view. And like all of our videos, we're taking these headlights out in the dark and see the form, as well as doing some night driving. The Sequoia used to have a V8 engine. 5.7 liter, it's a pretty good motor. 381 horsepower, torque rating of 401, hooked to a 6-speed automatic transmission. But that motor was a bit on the thirsty side, getting 13 to 17 mpg with 14 overall. This is Toyota's iForce Max V6 twin turbo with a slight hybrid assist, an electric motor that assists in acceleration and fuel economy. In two-wheel drive, it's rated at 21 mpg in the city, 24 on the highway, and 20 overall. This is the 4x4, 19 in the city, 22 on the highway, 20 overall. We take this out in the real world to see if that's really true. A lot of people ask me, why can't they just offer both the older V8 and the modern V6? After all, companies like Ford have, let's see, the small V6, small turbo V6, big turbo V6, and a V8 in their Ford 150 trucks. But they sell like 700,000 trucks a year and lots of SUVs. Moves it up to like 100,000 a year. Toyota, they don't make as many, so they can't afford to put a V8 and a V6 in the same engine. They just don't make enough units to do that, to make it economical. So given the choice between the older V8 and this V6 turbo, it's really a better choice to have this one. Yeah, I miss the V8 too, but hey, you got to move up and get some better economy and power numbers. And this thing has a lot more power than the V8, even if you're not impressed with the fuel economy. And we move up from a 6-speed automatic to a 10-speed automatic. No paddle shifters on the steering wheel for choosing gears manually, but you can do so with the stick on the console by flipping it over. Let's take a look at the cabin. We've got a nice large glove box, a giant info screen, a nice camera system, high quality image. If you don't like the rear view mirror, there's a camera system giving a wide range of view. I think this is optional, if I recall. Climate controls, pretty simple. You got a drive mode control, Sport, Sport Plus, Custom, Comfort, Eco. Your four-wheel drive low, and two-wheel drive system. No four-wheel drive for the street, off-road only. And here's where I get to my minor complaints. Some of the plastic used in this vehicle is pretty chintzy. Look at this thing wobbling. I've never seen a Toyota part break, but when you use them, you sure think they might. And what's up with this dinky fuel gauge? Come on, guys. Need a magnifying glass to watch this. And then there's the footrest location, which is too far to the right. My foot needs to go over here more, but we can't because of this panel. So I took this panel apart, and it's like 20% cables and stuff, and about 80% dead plastic. So this should not be this thick. I'm rubbing the side off my shoes. And my biggest gripe, something other journalists have mentioned, this is a big vehicle on the outside. But for its overall size, there's not much room on the inside. For example, I'll lower these third row seats. And they don't disappear into the floor, they take up a lot of room. I'm told this has something to do with the rear suspension. I think it used to be independent suspension, now it's a solid rear axle, because that's what they use in the tender truck or something like that. I don't know, it doesn't really matter because either way, the space back here is limited. I'm not sure what this does, but with the bright red button, I figure I probably shouldn't press it. I'll leave it alone. Like most Lexus Toyota vehicles, the power steering is very good. Even though it's electric, it feels hydraulic. Pretty good job here. Let's take some speed bumps from 15 to 20 miles per hour. I do have it in the comfort mode, so I guess we're cheating here. Bump number 1. Ooh, they're in, did a bit of axle hop. And 2 more, a normal one. And the big nasty one. That thumbing you hear is some toolboxes I got back there, not the vehicle. Toyotas don't rattle, come on. Let's try that nasty bump in the Sport Plus mode, see if it makes any difference. Doesn't seem to. The old V8 had decent power, but this I-Force setup has definitely a lot more. Does a good job of moving out this heavy tank. Nice firm brakes. And I've got some ranch patrolling to do, so what better vehicle to take than a 4x4 Sequoia. And to make it easy to get in, we have the electronic steps that come out. And then when you get in and drive off, they retract so you don't get banged up on rocks or ruts. The suspension is doing a pretty good job absorbing all the impacts from this nasty washboard road. But after all, this is basically a tundra pickup truck with a roof, so I would expect a nice performance. And keep in mind, this is the Sequoia with the air suspension, which I suspect might give it an edge. I'm not sure because I haven't driven a Sequoia without the air suspension yet. Perhaps later. There is a TRD version of the Sequoia, and it has all the off-road hardware, like the big giant off-road tires and wheels and skid plates and all that stuff. So if you're doing this type of driving all the time, you might want to look into the TRD version. Well, time to check up on my boys, and uh-oh, is he going to charge the truck? That's the mean one. Better look out. See, he's got a lot of friends. Here we go. It's Elsie. What a lovely babe. Wants me to get out and check out those horns. And demonstrate what she does with them when she gets mad. No thanks. Come on, you idiots, quit blocking the road. This is a toll booth. If you don't give them some hay or something to snack on, they block the road. Back to civilization. Nice view. All right, EP numbers say 19 the city, 20 in mixed commuting. I'm doing about 2/3 city, 1/3 on the expressway, semi-mixed commuting, and 14.8. To be fair, I did have my foot on the throttle quite a bit. This thing's pretty quick, and I like using the power, but nowhere near the 1920. We're going to take this on a highway trip, see what we get. Starting right now. All right, reset for a highway trip. Let's do it. This is a very comfortable highway cruiser. You got a high driving position, a good view, lots of weight. Unfortunately, there's a lot of wind noise, and I'm sure these giant mirrors don't help. Retracting them can eliminate a lot of the wind noise, but then you don't want to make any sudden lane changes. It might not be a good idea. Of course, with this extra wide rear camera system, I can see what's in back of me and beside me anyway, without really having to use the mirrors. So to keep the road noise down and maybe helping fuel economy because of less wind drag, I just might drive on the freeway with the mirrors retracted. For now. On the other Sequoias with the older V8 engine, which was a good engine but kind of a gas guzzler, you'd be lucky to get 16 miles to the gallon on a trip like this. So if we get anything over that, I consider that an improvement and a bonus. Alright, EPA says 22 mpg, we got 20.4, cruising at 75 miles per hour with the cruise control on to make sure we did 75 miles per hour. Not bad. Certainly better than the previous V8 did. So what's my take on this Toyota Sequoia after a week of driving? Well, what can I tell you? It's big, heavy, expensive to buy, and thirsty to feed. Gonna take some money to take care of this baby, and if you have money, you'll be perfectly happy, because it's a Toyota. They last a bit longer than some of the other brands. And if you didn't see the headlight test and night drive video we did on YouTube for the Sequoia, well, we're going to give it to you now, part 3. Click and watch. It's dark enough. Let's check out these lights. Look bright. We'll find out soon enough. And here are the tail lights. Not very big, but bright enough. And the emergency lights. Got a nice strobe light show going on here. A little something extra for all that money we're paying. These Sequoias aren't cheap, you know, and I see we have a blinker on the outside mirror. Don't break this mirror, they're very expensive to replace. Very expensive. And another strobe light show in the front, but it's drowned out by the headlights, really can't see anything. Headlights off, that's a little more like it. Yeah, now we're talking. You can definitely see that far away. And when you open the door, we got some lighting to see the side steps that pop out. And here's what the rear view camera looks like in the dark. What's this? If you watch my videos, I do not like auto-dimming mirrors. Not for city driving anyway. I don't think it's safe to have blacked out mirrors. But here we have a rear view mirror. If you don't want to use the standard reflective glass. The picture quality is better than what it looks like on my cheap camera. It's kind of dark out there, so amazing we're seeing anything at all. If you turn up the light illumination, the controls on the inside light up pretty good. Now for the headlights, we have the low beam on a wall 33 yards away. As you see, it's higher on the right than on the left. And now let's go to high beam. Bright all the way around, pretty wide. But again, on the left it tapers down. I guess so we don't blind oncoming traffic. Makes sense. Okay, high beam, low beam, no light, low beam, high beam. Reaches out there. Let's get on the freeway, light up some road signs. Right now I've got the low beam on. High beam lights them up way down there. Now our final test, going down a dark, dingy neighborhood with a lot of cats roaming around. Like a used car lot in this block. good portion of the people in this neighborhood are illegals, excuse me, undocumented migrants, but I notice they drive better cars than I've got with some of them. Guess they're making more money. By the way, you come to a stoplight, the engine shuts off, running on the battery. It's really not a start-stop system. The engine's actually not running, but the vehicle is, and you don't notice it. Just part of the little hybrid system they have on this IMAX engine system. You don't notice it at all. Alright, I think we passed. No complaints noted.